that Rabbi LAZER BRODY joined us for Mincha Maariv and spoke beautiful words in between Mincha Maariv. And I think you'll notice something very strikingly different between myself and Rabbi Brody when it comes to the world of tshuva. When Rabbi Brody gets up to speak, tshuva becomes the happiest thing in the world. Everybody's smiling, everybody's ready to jump and go do tshuva and return to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I'll just say that I can't say that every time that I speak, that's the way that everybody feels about tshuva. So I would like the chizuk, and I would like the smile, and I would like the positivity. So really it's an honor and a kavod once again for Rabbi Brody to enlighten us with his words into the world of tshuva.
For the Rav is the principal of the school, and I'm the gym teacher. That's fun and games. And when it's all fun and games. Baruch Hashem, beloved brothers, going to take a shtickle Zohar and put it into terms that we can see eye level. And this is a LAZER BRODY rendition of a Zohar that has to do with Rosh Hashanah. Okay, you got this Texas turkey farmer. And this Texas turkey farmer, he found a nice girl, and they're going to get married. He's about to get married, but he's working all the way right up until the wedding is at 8 o'clock in the evening. And his family brings him a tuxedo, and he finishes working with the turkeys. And he goes and he dresses, changes clothes, puts on the tuxedo, puts on his top hat, comes to get married, and there's this weird smell. Everybody's all dressed up and everything, but this weird smell. Inside the wedding hall, it smells like a turkey farm. You ever been inside a turkey farm? Oh, yeah. It smells like a turkey farm inside the wedding hall. They're looking around, one's looking at another. And here's the huss and the groom. He's standing there, and he's got a new tuxedo, and he's dressed up in expensive clothes and a black tie. And he smells like a turkey. Sounds kind of ridiculous, doesn't it? Do you know, that's every one of us in Rosh Hashanah. Come to Rosh Hashanah with our best clothes. Our best clothes, they come and daven and look great. And the malachim come down and say, Ribono Shel Olam, we can't take those prayers. They smell like turkeys. What did that happen? There's 3 levels of the neshama. There's a level of the neshama, the outer level of the neshama, that's called nefesh. Nefesh corresponds to our deeds. Then there's the middle level of neshama, that is the ruach, and that corresponds to our speech. Like Rabbi Shimon Bar says, ruach malala. This causes speech. Then there's the inner level of our neshama, and that is the neshama itself. Chelek elok mima'al, says Rabbi Shimon right there. It is a tiny spark of Hashem, and that is our machshava. Because the neshama, anatomically, it's in the brain. It's in the brain, just it corresponds. And we come, and we've gone through the motions, but our thoughts are not in the right place. So somebody says, let's say if we have a psychiatrist, psychologist, and they say, oh, Rabbi, you're wrong. We can't control the thoughts. The thoughts go. No, Baal Shem Tov says otherwise. Baal Shem Tov says a person is where his thoughts are, which means we can't control our thoughts. But how do we control our thoughts? So one day, maybe you think the Kvod Rav, okay, now I'm going to come over to the Kvod Rav's side. Kvod Rav says, come on, guys, Kovea Itim, you've got to learn more. We need more learning in the community. I said, I don't have time. I have this and that. There's only one way where we can cleanse our thoughts, and that's we have our heads in Torah. We're walking around, and we have a sugi in our head. One great thing, talk about the neshama. The letters of the Mishnah correspond to the letters of neshama. And a great way to cleanse the thoughts is anyone could do it. You don't have to be a guy that learned in Panovich for 8 years. We learn it Mishnayos by heart. Make yourself a little Elul plan. One do chizuk in Elul. I'm going to take 2 Mishnayos and learn them by heart. And then every time I see something that takes me out of Torah, I'm going to go through my Mishnayos. Go through my Mishnayos in my head. You cannot imagine what the Chafetz Chaim, when the Chafetz Chaim talks about the problematics of speaking Lashon Hara, which with every moment of speech that we're speaking bad, that we could have been speaking good, but here's the good news. Rashi tells us in Aseres Adibros that Mida Toiva Meruba Mida Teponu 500 Pam, that a measure of good is 500 times better than a measure of bad. Now let's take, for example, Shabbat. It's mind-boggling what we could do in Elul before Rosh Hashanah. Suppose a person talks about the ball game or Chulin or something that's not Shabbosdik, Dabra Dover. Okay, so it's not 7 times like slander, but it's Isur D'Rabbanan. It's Isur D'Rabbanan. When a person just thinks about a mission in his head, every word that he thinks about, this even deeper than thought because he's thinking about it, it's take the 7, compare it to some it's the 7 instead of thinking bad, take the 7 and multiply it by 500, that's 3,500. One thought of one word of Torah is 3,500 times stronger than one thought of hate in one's heart. Because hate is Isur D'Oraisa. So when one thought of a Torah, and learning Torah, that's Asa D'Oraisa, 3,500 times more powerful. The neshama gets clean. The brain gets clean. What one word of Torah could do. That's one Mishnah. Take 2 Mishnayos. 2 Mishnayos and that's going to make a plan, and I'm going to strengthen my learning. I'm going to come to the king on Rosh Hashanah with 2 Mishnayos. Ashrei, and that's what we say, Ashrei Misha Balapov B'Torah Tobi Yodo. That was happy is the person, say, when a person after 120 goes up to the Olam Emet, and he has his Torah, he comes with his Torah. But here, now we go to the king on Rosh Hashanah, we go to the king, and we present him with a clean-smelling neshama. This is the way to cleanse ourselves for Rosh Hashanah. Not only that, Chovas Levavos says we have to do Cheshbon Nefesh every day. This is the second thing that I would encourage someone to do. If you don't do Cheshbon Nefesh every day, Chovas Levavos says you can't do it. So this is our spiritual hygiene. Just like we take a shower every day, especially in the warm summer weather. Before you go to bed, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says in the Zohar, a person before he puts his head on the pillow, even after Kriya Shema, says, Shari Manda Matzel. He says, I forgive, in Aramaic, I forgive anyone that did me any harm. You can only do that with Emunah. If you believe that everything comes from Hashem, it's all for the best. But forgiving everyone and cleansing ourselves, our thoughts, with the Torah, and cleansing ourselves when what did I do? What did I do? Something very simple. And say, Hashem, I'm sorry. I'm going to try to do better tomorrow. Boom! You did perfect tshuva. That's wonderful tshuva. You did a cheshbon nefesh. So maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I talked about my competitor or I talked about someone else. Hashem, I know that was a clipping. If it's on the football field, flag on the field, 15 yards, Hashem, I'm going to try and do better. Hashem doesn't expect you to promise never to talk Lashon Hara. You can't do that. Can't make a promise like that. But you could certainly say, Hashem, I have the ratzon, do better. Everything is up to Hashem except for one thing Hashem leaves to us. Our ratzon, our desire to be better. So we take a little bit of cheshbon nefesh and a little bit of strength in Torah. That's the whole ball game in Elul. It is so simple. And it makes you feel so good, so much confidence. Doesn't matter what you do. What you do, you think anybody could accomplish anything. I knew in Israel, there was a retired cab driver. He came after he retired, his name was Hanina, from Brooklyn. This guy, cab driver, for 56 years, he learned Daf Yomi without missing a day. Motzei Tisha B'Av, he learned the Daf that he missed during the day. He never missed a day. So here we have a retired cab driver, simple, mamash simple Jew, who finished Shas 8 times. Imagine, I knew Chanina when I was a Koil Younger Man Yerushalayim, when I was in Koil Hara, maybe 38 years ago, and back then he was 88. So I just imagine what we could do by taking a Kriyas in Torah every day. A Kriyas in Torah, they could learn in a Mishnah. This is my weekly project. I learn one Mishnah by heart. Learn one Mishnah. You know what happens in Krav Maga? In Krav Maga, you're by yourself and you get jumped by 8 people. So you try and beat all the 8 people, you can't do it. But what you do, in Krav Maga, you get one guy and give him Berachal Bita Ktana, and the others, they roll. This is what happens with the Torah. We don't try and grab the whole Torah at once. We take it. Somebody said, never learned Gemara. How do I start Gemara? Mei Mosai. Brachas, Beis, Amud Aleph. Mei Mosai. Start. We take ourselves, give ourselves small things, and keep going. Like an army that's in a war, capture another inch of territory, but never go back. So every day, a little bit of cheshbon nefesh, and a little bit of Torah, and over the long time, it will cleanse ourselves, it will bring us close to Hashem, and Hashem will certainly, because of our desire to get close to Him and to have sweet-smelling neshamas, Hashem will give us a sweet life and sign us and seal us for a sweet new year, 5784. Amen.